I am covering aquatic biomes. You guys are covering terrestrial. There are two types of aquatic biomes. What are they? Salt water, which if you study the ocean, what are you studying? What's the class called? Marine bio. So we're going to call it marine, number one. And the second one is fresh. So if we are looking at marine versus fresh, what is the abiotic contributing factor that determines one from the other? Salt. Notice that I added the word abiotic, okay? Now, if we are in one biome, like the marine biome, or we're in the freshwater biome, okay, which we'll go over the different types now, what would be the contributing factor that would determine life, or the main factor that determines life? That's a good answer, but no. Good answer, but no. Light. Great answer. And we're going to say depth because obviously the depth of the marine biome is very, very much where you see variation of organisms, okay? But sunlight is the key factor because even if you have an area that receives sunlight, if sunlight is not penetrating that zone, it's going to damage the full functioning of that zone, okay? So when I taught this class before, and this is why I'm making a new video, we learned about different zones from the moment you swim in. That was called the intertidal zone, right? Because tides occurred there. So when you think of that, think of every part of the ocean that borders the what? What are we talking about here? I'll give you a letter because it was hard to get this answer earlier. Yes. Every marine biome that is near or connected to the coast is called the coastal zone. So in the past, it was divided into two further zones, intertidal and neritic. I'm scratching those words out of your notes. Hasn't come up in the AP exam. You can never say I didn't tell you. And we're going to talk about important sectors or ecosystems that develop within the coastal zone, okay? But for starters, you think of this, and if I ask you, did you see how I moved to the center of the room? If I ask you, give me an ecological service of the coastal zone, what is it? Huh? Ecological service that the coastal zone provides. Well, tides occur there. So what's it? Huh? Sure. Nutrients from the water that could get cycled. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to get a little bit more specific now, okay? Now, this zone can also offer economical advantages because tourism. Think of those things when you think of this, okay? But when you see the coastal zone, okay, you think of areas that are closest to the shore, areas that are shallow, areas that receive sunlight, or sunlight penetrates the entire zone. Let's write that down. Near the shore, near shore, shallow, sun. Fully lit. Let's call it fully lit. We're going to talk more about light when we go deeper. But think about Nemo. Where did Nemo live? He lived in an anemone that's found where? In the coral reefs, which used to have its own title, the neritic zone, okay? But it is also, and it had its own title because it is the most what? The most biodiverse of all the coastal zone, or the entire marine biome, let's say that, is the coral reefs, or neritic zone, what it used to be called before. If I was going to compare the neritic zone to a terrestrial biome, which one would that be? Yes. Is that your biome? Wow. Good job. The rainforest. They literally renamed the coral reefs the rainforest of the sea. And it's because of the diversity. You find most species here. Second most diverse is an estuary. Anybody know what that is? I'm going to show you right here. I'll point in the video so you can see. What is this? No. What? Look at it. It's the coastal zone, which is an ocean, right? What is this? Freshwater. Estuaries are brackish water, but really estuaries are where salt water meets freshwater, which forms brackish water. And they are great nursing ground and second most diverse. I want you to know that all coastal zones, because they receive sunlight, are going to be high primary productivity, which means they're going to be in the most diverse. They have diversity. It doesn't matter if they're not first diverse, second diverse, they have diversity. They also protect shores. So that's a big function. They help protect shorelines. That's what their main function is. For example, this one will help protect this ecological service is they are filters. What do you think they're filtering if they are an ecological service? Pollutants. Good job. First time I get it all day. And again, I put protect shorelines just to remind you, okay? Because obviously this is the shore. This one is all about diversity, but these help protect shorelines. What do you think this does? Mangrove forest. And by the way, all my pictures are of Florida. So what does a tree do near water? So what do you think it's going to help? Water levels. So it's going to help control flooding, which is a big issue when we destroyed the Everglades, because we destroyed a lot of this important feature within Florida, which helped control flooding. Now, the last thing I want you to know today is the coastal zone. And this goes back to Unit 2, when we learned about cycling of matter. What can the ocean absorb? Yes. It is a capture and store of carbon dioxide, which means it's going to reduce atmospheric carbon dioxide. And as I move to the center of the room, which means it helps which environmental problem? Climate change. Add that to your notes. If you reduce atmospheric carbon dioxide, which has been put in excess due to what? That's a good answer. Deforestation, what else? Burning fossil fuels. It helps reduce or prevent, let's say prevent global warming or climate change. And we are done. Good job, period J.